Hello, this is Corey today. Thought I'd present to you this video. I'm going to show you how to take the keyboard out of a ThinkPad, IBM Thinkpad X60 tablet. This is the tablet version, so has the lifting screen here. It's got a rather nice keyboard, and it has the rotating screen that will turn around and lock down. And of course, you can take the tablet pen, you can draw on it, all that good stuff. Now, we'll bring this back around here. Let's get to the actual meat. You'll notice my X60 actually says X61 there. I stole the bezel from an X61 off of a scrap unit because when I bought this one on eBay, it was cracked. Okay, so on most ThinkPads, the keyboard is extremely easy to take out. There's a series of screws here you'll see on the bottom, and there's an icon indicator right here that kind of looks like a little keyboard. It's much easier to see in person. Kind of difficult to see on my webcam here. Okay, so there's typically 3 to 4 screws on one of these, and I just got this little mini kit for like 10 bucks at Walmart. It's great. It has a whole bunch of screw heads in it, and it'll let you work with screws big and small. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those 4 screws. Probably go ahead and use the extension for this as well. Alright, so let's see here. This is a screw hole. 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 And that should be all, but no, there's one here under the battery too, which you should always take the battery out when you go to do some work on a machine. So we will set that aside. Now I'm going to plug this in, and we are going to work on the keyboard screws one at a time. Here, let me bring the camera down a bit. There we go. Now we can see what I'm doing. One at a time. Take out all the screws with that keyboard label. And like I said previously, almost all ThinkPad models, whether they be IBM or Lenovo, the older ones with the good removable keyboards will have these sets of screws here. So that's 1, 2. Okay. Just stumpy little screws there. We will set those aside. And we have one more here. There's another screw. Now you'll notice most of these screws are the same size. That's also a common factor in these, especially if you buy them used. People tend to either put a bunch of the same size screws back in, or they tend to not put them back in at all, which is not good. Let's see here. Got that one, got that one, got that one, got that one. That should be all that's required to remove the keyboard. So now we'll go ahead and flip it over and pop this open. And now all you should need is grab a flathead here. Helps. Okay. Switch over this tool. And go under here. You want to grab an edge of the keyboard. You want to make sure you're not underneath the key. You just want to get the edge of the keyboard. I like going under the touchpad. It makes things pretty easy. And then once you've got under there, you'll see this whole unit here will just lift up in one piece. Sometimes it's stuck. Just be gentle with it. It'll come out. Just gentle wiggle. Okay. You'll see a little ribbon cable right here. There's a spot here on the motherboard where it simply snaps in. The end of this cable right here. And all you have to do is take this guy here. And this one doesn't have the pull tab on it, unfortunately. One of the wonders of buying one used. But take this and just gently rock it back and forth. See, mine doesn't even rock much anymore. It pops out. And there you have it. This is the keyboard. You can see this one still has the really good scissor keys. Probably one of my favorite keys ever. I wonder if I can get a good look at the scissor in there. Almost. Anyway, these are replaceable if you buy. Usually if you're looking to get a keyboard, you want to buy a ThinkPad for parts. Most of the X series tablet ThinkPads have interchangeable parts, so the keyboards and other various bezel features will, for the most part, work between them. But you're usually better off buying an entire scrap laptop because the keyboards themselves go for $20-$30 as of this recording. Alrighty, so let me set this aside. And like I said, there's a couple other internals in here. There's the cooling assembly, the processor's under here. There's the CMOS battery. Of course, you can see the hard drive under here. And if you take apart a few more screws, the RAM on this unit is actually right under this bezel. But we're not going to touch on that in this video. So this is now, magically brand new keyboard. Okay, we're replacing it. Once again, this little gator grip here. You just want to press it gently onto here. You'll just kind of feel when it's in the right spot. You just thumb it in. See, like it was in the totally wrong spot. I messed that up. There we go. You'll get a tiny little click, and you want to get this back portion in here first. Once again, it'll shove under the little bezel here in the back. Alrighty, and then you'll drop this down real nice and neat, and you'll see it'll just barely rest in there. It'll still be a little floppy, but that's okay. You'll want to flip this over. There we go. Sometimes I prefer to do this open because you can use your hand to push up on the keyboard, but once again, it's totally preference. Sometimes the screws grab a little better if you use your hand to push up. Let me see here. Once again, there was one here under the battery. We'll start with that one. Make sure once again the keyboard is pushed up, and it is. See, I'm not grabbing the keyboard entirely. That's what's happening. Yep, there we go. You'll feel it grab. These screws will not catch it all if there's not a keyboard in, so they'll just free spin in their socket, so you'll know when you have the right connection when it grabs. Let me stick this back in here. Once again, I gotta lift the keyboard there with my hand because the screw's not grabbing. Still not quite grabbing. Alright, that one's down and tight. Now let's get this one here. By this point, the keyboard's probably going to grab on its own. And then last but not least, the last screw here. I'll just drop that one in the hole. And this one will need to give a little encouragement, but it'll go in. Okay, and that is all snapped back in. Let's take a look at the front here just to make sure that it's not sticking up. And it is a little, but if you've got it sticking up just barely, you can rectify that by pushing it back in with the screwdriver. If you've got it sticking up in a bunch of places, you might want to go back through and take care of it. But in this case here, we'll just persuade this guy back down into the hole. There we go. Persuaded. I put a couple scuffs on there. Probably wasn't good, but looks like the edge is down all the way around. And we'll boot it up here just to make sure it is working. Oh, well, it would help if I put the battery in, wouldn't it? Let me put the battery There we go. We have some lights, so we didn't mess up too bad. This particular one has Windows 7 on it. I had to use Windows for a couple of application compatibilities. These have fairly excellent Linux support. Matter of fact, I've had just about every distro you can imagine on here. We'll wait for it to boot up and then we'll test the keyboard. Oh, sorry, I forgot I had biometric recognition. Oop. Okay, now we're booting in. And let's do a Control-Alt-Delete. And obviously we got there, so that's working. Hit escape. Okay, and the keyboard is fully working. Let's go ahead and close that. A couple more things to note on the bottom of this unit here. You will see all of these holes. You will see a couple of them like this one. Where is it? Here, where it kind of looks like a square hole and it's got a little water drop symbol there. That is actually the drain. On a lot of these business class model laptops, there was a drain. So if you spill something on this keyboard, that little lip you saw when we were installing it, that little lip will actually catch the liquid and it will direct all the liquid down through the bottom of the machine through a set of holes so that none of the internal components are harmed. So at the worst, a spill would cause you to replace a keyboard, but it's nothing detrimental or nothing that would risk your data. Alrighty. Well, there it is. Operating just fine, spinning along. I hope you enjoyed my video, and please subscribe.